Hello everyone, this is an all endings playthrough of Clock Tower Rewind. A no commentary version of this video can be found in the pinned comment in the comments section below. This is Rewind mode. This mode adds the cut content that was introduced in Clock Tower The First Fear, which was released on PS1 and PC in Japan. This content was restored to an SNES ROM for the Clock Tower Rewind release. That's essentially what's going on here is games running SNES ROM in an emulator wrapper. For this run, I'm going to be taking advantage of the emulator wrapper's quick save and quick load functions in order to show you guys how to get every ending easily. Pardon this abrupt cut. I spliced the intro in over the gameplay. So to start, we're going to go into this second door over here, and then we're going to check the shoebox on top of the chest of drawers. And there is a 50-50 chance that there is a key in there. If there is no key in there, then it's better to just reset the game. Next, I open this door. And then check this drawer over here to get the perfume bottle. We need that for late game. Don't talk to the parrot. Basically, this is a combination of two different playthroughs, and we are taking the route where Laura dies first. So we go into the bathroom. Laura's hanging in the bathtub, bleeding out, and we're gonna run. So because we already got the key to the west building, straight up, the idea is to go to the west building. Sometimes Jennifer will trip over here. Once we've reached the west building, we're going to go upstairs. The 5 or so rooms up here are going to be randomized. There's only like a couple of rooms that are not randomized. So I start by going into this room over here. Just any of the rooms, really. Hiding under the bed will get rid of Bobby. Otherwise, there's nothing in this room. It's just a room where you can hide from Bobby. And once we have hidden from Bobby, just gotten that out of the way, one thing that's new to the Rewind version of Clock Tower is you have the ability to rest and recover your stamina. You need to have at least a little bit of stamina recovered for this part. Once we check the doll here, get the ritual key. Just gonna chill out here. We're just gonna keep clicking on the doll. Eventually we'll get into a panic state. This is force damage, happens no matter what. You could recover your stamina by resting in the original. It just took forever for Jennifer to actually sit down and recover her stamina. But in the rewind version, you can just press whatever the right face button is on your controller, either the B button on Xbox or the circle button on PlayStation. And once we got the ritual key, we're going to head back. Telephone's ringing. But we're just going to ignore it. First, you have to hit the trigger to check the box on the other side of the chifforobe, and then you have to push the box and then climb over it. And then examine it, get the black robe. And then also pick up the pesticide. Next, we're going to make our way over to the kitchen. You should never really have to stop if you know what you're doing. Next, pesticide, and we're going to use it on the meat locker over here. Get rid of all the cockroaches. Then we'll take the gold key. Now we're going to make our way over to the garage where we can proceed to get one ending. The key to the car is in the crate over here. We select the car key from the menu. After doing those two dialog boxes, what I like to do is I like to exit and then re-enter so that whenever I come back here to use the key again, I don't have to sit through those two dialog boxes again. So we'll select the car key and use it one last time in order to exit and get ending H. So now we can hit continue, which loads us back to the last checkpoint before the ending we just got. Then we're going to initiate another cutscene over here where the other character, Anne, we have to wait until the scream, and then we check out the window, and then we can see Anne getting flung from a window. In order to get ending G, we run back to the car after seeing the cutscene where Anne gets flung from the window, and then we just get in the car again. Then we get another ending. Next, we will go for ending F. At this point, we're looking for one of the items that we need in order to be able to get to the basement. So because Bobby appeared behind the curtain over here, we are going statue route instead of cane route. This basically guarantees that we are getting statue. So now we got to get rid of Bobby. So I have a confession to make. I actually recorded this run like 5 months before doing this commentary. So I'm trying to remember exactly the order in which I did everything. But at this point, I'm just kind of going in and out of doors just to figure out like where all the rooms are in this particular seed. Because all the rooms here are pretty much randomized to begin with. I mean, all the rooms exist. They are just in different places, I should say. So we got birdcage room in there, and then we get library over here. And with library, we can just wait, examine this bookshelf, and then when Bobby comes in, he gets collapsed on. And now he's just gone. This is perfect because we needed to come in here in order to read this book in order to learn about the demonic statue. Tree in a forest, person in a crowd, a statue among statues. Generally, if you're doing a speed run, statue is, well, actually, if you are doing a speed run, statue is the best possible outcome that you can get. And I believe this is seeded from whenever you hit new game. So when we're up here, we got to examine the gap over here, and then we examine this board. Then we can put the board down, and now we can go across whenever we want. We examine this second statue over here. After reading the book, the statue will be right here. It is guaranteed. So once I've gotten the statue, this is where I make an emulator save. If this was an actual speed run, then using the emulator saves would not be allowed. Once we have the statue, we will place it on the pedestal over here, and that will give us access to the underground. You gotta check it. I highlighted the wrong thing. It's actually supposed to be that gold thing that I'm highlighting right now. That's the actual pedestal that you're supposed to put the statue on. There we go. And once that's on, we have access to the underground. Once we get over to the Doberman over here, we can put on the black robe and put on the perfume. And then just move right along. Dumb dog is none the wiser. Don't move any further to the right, otherwise you will talk to Lot. We want to do that later. Basically, Jennifer cannot know about Miss Mary until later in order to be able to do the other endings with this particular event routing. We're going to press this button first. We need to press this first before we can activate the elevator during the escape sequence. That's the button that you press to activate the elevator. But we have to go see Dan first. And before we trigger Dan, we need to rest a little bit. So we'll press A, and we'll rest for about, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds. That's enough to get Jennifer... Well, actually, the amount of time that I rested was pretty much exactly enough, like 5 seconds. You just have to make sure that Jennifer is not in red. Because she needs enough stamina in order to be able to trigger the sequence in which Dan goes up in flames. Be jiggling that D-pad, okay? Or the panic button. I don't remember which. But if you're in red, then yeah, this sequence will not happen, and you'll just die. And once we're over here, we can turn immediately around and activate the elevator. I think that cutscene is a small little extra that alludes to Clock Tower 2, aka the first Clock Tower game on PlayStation. So, we just opened the elevator door now, and this will trigger ending F. So, because we opened this door and triggered this ending, the game does an autosave at the start of this room. In order to be able to get any endings D or higher from here, Jennifer has to know about the secret of Miss Mary. And she can learn that by talking to Lot over here. So, we'll load the save. We already got ending F. It's the secret of the switches, actually. My bad. Sorry, it's been a little while since I played this game. Once we get on the elevator, though, there's more endings that we can get. Basically, the in-game autosave changes over to this one, and we can choose the third floor. And there you go, that's ending E. Choosing continue will start us at the start of the elevator. And now we can choose second floor. Choosing second floor here will lock us into ending D. So here we actually do not know the secret of Miss Mary. Lot teaches us the secret of the clock tower, but we don't know the secret of Miss Mary, so... That's ending D. And from here, we can load the emulator save in order to work on endings C, B, and S. The reason why I made the quick save here was because going in here is the quickest and easiest way to learn about Miss Mary after getting the statue. We'll examine the crack in the wall, or the paved over wall over here. There's very clearly a door behind there. Then use the metal bar, bash this open. This is how Jennifer had to learn. The reason why she is an orphan to begin with. I originally intended for this to be a speedrun, so sorry I skipped all of that. It wasn't a very good one. If you're extremely unlucky, then Bobby will show up here. Obviously, we don't want that. But now that we know the secret of Miss Mary, things change around a bit. Now we can go ahead and use the statue. You already know what to do here. Then we're going to go ahead and talk to Lot. Same as before, we gotta press the button before we can do anything else. Before we can turn on the power to the elevator. If you've been playing the way that I've been playing, Jennifer has no stamina. So you gotta wait it out just a little bit. And of course, gotta go back. Turn on the elevator. And then we'll make another emulator save right here, and then choose second floor. If we choose third floor, we will just get ending E again. There's a little struggle over here. We just push her over and run. Struggle again. Kick her down. But it's not over. We got to deal with Bobby. And that's ending C. Then from here, we load the emulator, save again. Choose third floor. Now, because we didn't save the crows, or save the crow, and because Anne died, we get this version of the ending instead. And that's ending B. No other endings can be gotten with this particular event routing, so now we have to restart the game. Starting from a quick start. I wanted to save ending S for later. Endings S and ending A for later anyway, because I wanted to show what would happen if certain things don't go the correct way. But I believe I got the key in the shoebox this time. If you don't get the key in the shoebox over here, then you have to get it from a crow's nest. Next, we got to get the perfume bottle. Also, don't try to hide in this room with the parrot if you're running away from Bobby, because the parrot will rat you out. We're not going to check... Oh, I guess we are. In this particular route, I decided to do the ending where Anne lives. The variant of the S ending where Anne lives. After this, we are going to go into the door to go to the west building. The seat is going to be different this time, so I have to learn where all the rooms are now. After going through this door, we'll go through the first door on the first floor. And we got the room where we can hide in, lucky for us. Now that that's done, this room can either be on the first floor or second floor. You got to get the bronze dagger first, then highlight the bronze dagger, and then open this locker over here. And once the ghoul comes out, we got to stab it to death. The ghoul has the cage key. I believe this zombie was one of the restored events from Clock Tower: The First Sphere. Next, we gotta take the key and make our way over to the, I guess the abattoir. I don't know what you would call it. Rested a little bit. The records just started playing. And we got Cane Route. This is an RNG event. It makes getting the ending significantly longer. Cane Route's a bit of a slog. Gone ahead and put the board down. I hadn't checked the other two doors to the right. This would appear to be a past Carsey moment. Where past Carsey's lack of concentration got the best of him. Now we're going to open up the cage and free the crow. The room with the killer dolls over here is always in the same place. After we get the ritual key, it will either be one doll or another, but if she walks over this way, then it's going to be the red doll. From here, I make a hard save. Or an emulator save, because there is the possibility that I will have an RNG event happen that will either get me ending S or ending A. Ending A being where we encounter Mr. Barrows. If you hear the scream, don't check the window, otherwise Anne will die, and we don't want that. Once we're over here, we're going to check this area, get the black robe and the pesticide. Schrodinger's Anne. Yeah, pretty much. If we don't see Anne, if we don't see Anne die, then she just didn't die. She just screams. At this point in the run, I don't know which floor the room is where you can encounter Mary. In any case, because we are going to get the A ending, we want to get the ham. We're going to get the A ending in one of these branches. It just depends on if we encounter Miss Mary or not. Now that we have the gold key, we're going to do a check. We'll do an emulator save over here. The previous save I did was a bit of a safety save. So that door is locked. And in order to get the key for it, we have to go into the other door that is in this room. And in this case, that would be the room where we have a 50% chance of encountering Miss Mary and forcing us into the A ending route. Of course, we were accosted by Bobby and none too soon. The easiest place to shake him off, if we encounter him here, is to go into the room where we got the black robe and the pesticide. We already pushed the box, so we can just go and hide next to the black robe crate. Bobby will just leave. But not before getting gassed. I decided to do another emulator save again, because once we use the gold key, there is a 50% chance of encountering Mary here, and we do not. So now we're going to examine the wine glass. And if Mary is not in here, then we get the silver key from under the glass. If Mary is in here, then we are forced into the A ending route. So because Mary was not in here, we are going to reload that emulator save later and go back and forth into the room in order to trigger the A ending path. Meanwhile, because we are dealing with Kane route over here, we have to enter in here. And then we check the smoke on the wall. And then we check the notebook over here. Tells us the secret of the clock tower, where Lot cannot tell us. We don't encounter Lot in this route. Then we check it again. And this depicts where we put the cane. So now we make our way back to the ritual room. I don't recall if I'd actually figured out where the ritual room was in this run or not. Because while we found it in a previous run, we had to start a new run in order to be able to get the other endings. I don't remember, was the ritual room a static room or not? No, it couldn't have been, otherwise I wouldn't have just gone into the piano room. Because I have to look for the ritual room. Right? If anyone in chat has the answer, it's been a few months since I played this game, so I actually legitimately do not remember. Oh yeah, because we're not doing the A ending route and we don't learn the secret of Miss Mary that way, we actually do have to find Jennifer's father's body again. In order to get the S ending, three criteria have to be met. You cannot encounter Miss Mary in the room where you get the silver key. Your other character cannot be dead, so Laura or Anne have to survive. You have to know the secret of Miss Mary, so you have to find Walter Simpson. And you have to free the crow from the, I guess, the butchery room. Cage room, maybe? I actually don't know what that room is called, colloquially. You are unable to use the cane in this room unless you go to the mural room first. From here, we're locked into the S ending. There's no response. Just need to press that first so that we can activate the elevator or turn on the power, same as before. I believe if you try to get past the dog without the robe or the perfume, then you just die. It's a killer dog. We just gotta rest a little bit, then encounter Dan, same as before. Jiggle the D-pad for panic. And now that the power is on, we can press the button, go up to the third floor. Actually, I made a boo-boo. We got ending F again. Because somehow I forgot to learn the secret of the clock tower, maybe? but that's okay. We can easily remedy that. That's kind of odd. I could have sworn I'd read the file that tells us about the secret to the clock tower. I don't know what the significance to it is. The clock tower. Depressing the switches. You're just told to press the switches. And that pressing the switches brings time to a standstill, but it's completely unexplained how this affects Bobby or anything else. By correctly reading the file in the mural room, I was supposed to be able to skip talking to Lot, but I have no idea what happened. I think I was actually supposed to check it a few more times, the file. Saving the crows prevents Mary from killing Anne or Laura, whoever did not die at the start of the game. That's the thing about crows, they remember favors, and they remember people who were mean to them for the rest of their lives. Crows carry a huge grudge. And that grudge was paid back in spades because Mary kept feeding crows to her children. So there is another variant of the S and A endings, like I said. But the dialogue is pretty much the same. The only difference is one is Laura, the other is Anne. And that's ending S. And now we can reload the save that we got before going into this room over here. So now we just re-enter the room. I went ahead and got the silver key because we need to go to the silver key room anyway. I kind of wonder if maybe it would have been a lot quicker to just save, do the emulator save after learning the secret of the cane. But upon encountering Miss Mary here, we are forced into ending A route. We have to give the ham to this guy over here. Otherwise, he eats us. The cradle under the star, referring to the star in the ritual room. And now we're just going to wait here. Regain a little bit of stamina. We need to regain a little bit of stamina. Then we walk this way. And then Lot will come save us. With that incredible running cycle. So Lot got shot. And you can try to save, or you can try to hide, but Miss Mary will find you and shoot you. So you got to grab that plank of wood. Just like keep pressing it. You only have like maybe zero point 0.3 seconds, like a window of 0.3 seconds to actually grab the board and smack Miss Mary with it. And once that's done, we can go out here, move the crate, and then we're back on the first floor. Unfortunately, we encountered Bobby over here, so we gotta run to the garage. The closest way to get to deactivate Bobby and be able to move back into exploration mode is to go into the garage and pick up the shovel. That'll do the job. You don't have to worry about having stamina for this one. This is one of the few evasion maneuvers you can do that doesn't cost you any stamina. Well, maybe a little bit of stamina. You still have to run through a panic QTE in order to be able to use the shovel. Now that that's done... Oh, you know, I actually know what happened. It's because we got locked into the S ending that checking the file over here did not work. So I think checking the file there doesn't work if Lot is still alive. So that's why it didn't work before. This is how we have to learn about the secret to the clock tower. Is by that note. Because otherwise Lot is going to be dead and she will not appear in the basement. Now we'll go into this middle door, and same as before, we will put the cane in the vase, and then reveal the door under the pentagram. This will be the last time we go through all this. No, we're not stabbing the dog. But the dog probably gets squashed anyway. Just got to make sure to rest up a little bit before we open the curtain, as usual. Now choose third floor. an A ending and dies. Or Laura dies here. Whichever. But we also rescued the crows. No. No, we didn't. Yeah, we did. Never mind. Rescuing the crows is what saves you here. Not saving the crows simply gets Miss Mary electrocuted instead. Oh, that's a interesting graphical glitch right there. How rare. Anyways, that's been Clock Tower Rewind. An all endings playthrough. Basically, I just sort of wanted to make a Cliff Notes sort of route that shows how to easily get all the endings. If you want a more complete file, though, then yeah, you're going to have to play each ending from start to finish, but this should explain all of the triggers that are needed in order to be able to get each ending, so use this information as you will. Thank you very much for watching, and see you all next time. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/CarcinogenSDA. And check out my Patreon. $1 a month. Get early access. Excuse me. Links will be in the pinned comment. Once again, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Bye for now.